This is Sox in 7.
Welcome back to Sox in 7. We're your hosts, Kevin Tebow, Mason Reed, Jack Tagerman, here for another episode of Sox in 7, coming off a sweep of the Pirates. But before that, we missed a series in Cleveland where we lost 3 out of 4. But in that one game, the only game we're going to really talk about in this series is Tanner Houck's complete game shut piece. What a performance. Just absolutely fucking diced.
I mean, that was special to watch, man. Like Tanner Houck, end of the rotation guy, but I mean, he's hitting every spot. The slider, sweeper, whatever he's got going on, it's hitting for sure. Um, but yeah, I mean, he's a Cy Young candidate so far, which is crazy to say, but I mean, ERA 1.35, I think right now, sub one whip. It's just you can't ask for much more out of that guy.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely didn't do that Orioles series either, right?
No, I did.
Oh, you did personally?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, after that series, like I watched all the games in that series, and I was pretty upset. Like, and then I just decided to not watch the Red Sox for like a pretty long time until that Houck game I watched the last couple innings. And this Pirate series I watched a little bit. But yeah, I mean, like Houck obviously shoved that game. That's what we were talking about. But like at this point in the season, like the Boston Red Sox, like we're just not a team where like we can afford to have Devers, Casas, Story, Pavetta. Like all of our players are just hurt. So like that's not good.
Definitely not. I mean, you have your entire starting infield other than your catcher gone out for the season, basically. I mean, not
Yeah.
actually for the season, but I mean, Vaughn Grissom's still recovering in Worcester. Casas is hurt, and like it's not looking pretty. Still haven't gotten numbers on that. Rafi was supposed to be in the lineup today. He's not. I think
Yeah, he's like
Rafi's
for Devers, he's just like he's playing, but like he's just like battling like a nagging injury. And like he's not 100% clear. And then like Casas has definitely been our second best hitter. Oh yeah, also O'Neill is hurt. Like
Yeah.
not good for us. We're still hanging in there at 13 and 10 though.
yeah,
No,
I mean,
you lose Devers and O'Neill on the same play because Devers runs out to the middle of left field to field the fly ball. I mean, like Tyler O'Neill's camped under that thing. But I mean, maybe that's a communication thing, who knows? But I mean, we're fielding a AAA roster and we somehow just swept the Pittsburgh Pirates, who I mean aren't aren't
No,
expected to be a great team this year. But I mean, they started out pretty well, so
yeah, I
yeah, I
mean
mean
they
like
were
they're decent. They're just not like but like that's a team that like you can expect to win against. Like the A's and like the Nationals go into that game expecting like, oh, we can win this series. It's like that's not the same thing as like playing like good teams. But yeah, I mean we're playing another good team this week. The Guardians are what like 16 and 6.
yeah, best record in baseball.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it's nice to see like you went 1-5 against the A's and Pirates last year during a stretch. Like I think it's important that like we're beating these bad teams. Obviously, we're fielding a AAA roster, and it's really hard to see. But the boys are battling. The pitching has just been outstanding. Like that complete game shutout from Tanner Houck, 94 pitches. I can't remember the last time a pitcher has thrown a complete game with under 100 pitches.
yeah,
yeah.
I mean,
Go ahead, Dax.
I touched on this the last podcast I was in too. It's just like everything that we expected coming into the season, the exact opposite has happened. It's like we're not hitting the ball all that well. The starting pitching's dominating. Um, the bullpen's been all right, I guess. Jolie Rodriguez is good for at least one or two runs every single time he gets out there. But I mean, yeah, I don't really know how sustainable that starting pitching is, but I also don't think it's sustainable for our offense to struggle the way it has, especially if we start getting healthy. Isn't Grissom supposed to be back fairly shortly?
Yeah, my guess is probably after the Cleveland series, they'll probably debut him in at Fenway with Chicago coming into town.
The
And like,
Cubs.
yeah,
We're playing the Cubs this weekend.
yeah.
It's good.
Um,
Yeah, so I mean, like, we're just playing like two pretty like relatively good baseball teams that are better than us. So like it'd be good to go. It'd be good to split these next 6 games 3-3 in my estimation. Like
yeah,
that'd
I
be a win
mean,
for us.
we're 10-3 on the road, like, and 3-7 at home. Like, what are those numbers?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, back to what Tags was saying though, like the pitching staff has been absolutely outstanding, especially Cutter Crawford, especially Tanner Houck and Bello has pitched really well his last two. Like despite like giving up a few this first couple,
You
and
want
then
to
like Betta and Whitlock are both just hurt, but
Here's a stat on Brian Bayo. Better ERA during the day than the night this year.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
So
not like him at all.
I
That's
know.
not.
Maybe beat the case, maybe not.
Yeah.
Looks like Rudy Bing is frozen. Um, but another thing I wanted to say is like a lot of people are like hopping on the Cutter Crawford train, like, oh, like,
in my back.
yeah, you're back.
Yeah.
Like everybody's hopping on the Cutter Crawford train saying, like, oh yeah, like we predicted their breakout season this year. Like, bro, back
We
off.
predicted
Like
that 3 years ago. Like,
we knew it 3 years ago. When we started this podcast, you could go back. We got the receipts. We were on Cutter Crawford from day one. Like, he's a dog. Everybody needs to stop taking credit for being on him. Like, no, like we saw it.
no, that was us for sure. So who's pitching tonight? Houck against Ben Lively is what I
Yeah.
think. And the
Yeah.
Sox are like plus 102 ML, plus a half versus 5. Like, yeah, definitely take that. I mean, I sure will be. Like, we definitely have a big advantage on the mound, big advantage in terms of like how these guys are throwing lately. But yeah, I mean, the Guardians are a scrappy team. They scrap out wins. They got a good ball club, and our lineup tonight like isn't going to have O'Neill, Devers, Casas, or like Story. So those are like probably our four best hitters, or like what you would say our four best hitters would be going into the season. So
O'Neill's back tonight.
okay, good.
So we
That's
got
good.
somebody back. Rob Refsnyder came back up. He's been
The Asian
balling.
sensation, baby.
Yeah, I mean,
Very sensational.
we said it when he got hurt. We're like, this team's gonna need him. They needed him, and he was a big reason why that they swept the Pirates. But the other biggest reason why they swept the Pirates, Wilyer Abreu.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's hot. He's hot.
what a 180. I mean, he's
Yep.
been absolutely breaking since we called him out on the podcast. That continues to be a trend.
Mhm.
So like it's great to see. He's like obviously like he scares me fielding. Like he's made some great catches, but like I feel like the only reason why they're great catches is because he gets horrible jumps. And then if you hit a ground ball to him out there, like there's a 9 out of 10 chance that he boots it.
Yeah.
But keep breaking, kid.
Yeah, I mean, when we traded Vasquez for him and Manuel, like Willier was definitely like the prospect who had like more of a chance to be like your everyday, like top of the order, middle of the order guy. And like he definitely showed sparks last year and like this and like obviously off to a horrible start this year, but Cora stuck with him because like we were demanding him to get sent down. He's coming around. And then like for Ed Manuel, he just needs to hit home runs.
Yeah.
Because like how many home runs does he hit? 2?
I think
Yeah, he needs to hit
2
more
or
home runs
3.
than that because like, his average. Yeah, his average is probably not going to be there because like he swings out of his shoes, but he just needs to hit home runs like in the 7 spot, and like if he can throw in like one or like one every couple series, we should be good.
Yeah, I agree. Like you just need him to like hit a righty really hard.
Yeah,
That's pretty much all you can ask for from him, especially with when Von Grissom comes back. They'll probably platoon him, which I'm fine with, like at least until Von Grissom like gets going. Because when I saw him in Worcester, I visited Polar Park. He didn't look great, and like he wasn't hitting well. Rob hit a bomb first inning, but Grissom, he wasn't running anything out still. He was DHing and like he hit like a really slow chopper to third and easily could have beat it out and he just like walked down the line. So like he was obviously like told not to run. So like I don't know how long like how bad his injury is. And like Pavetta sounds like he's gonna need another 2 weeks. Whitlock, I have no idea how long that's gonna take. And like Costas is just a huge blow to this team. Like I really felt like he was being the leader on the team, kind of like taking all the young guys under his shoulder, like, hey guys, like we can do this. And now I feel like it's Will Bray who's like the only one on the team. And like Jaron's quietly cooled off like quite a bit.
Mhm. He has.
I mean, he's
He's still
still,
confident up there though, for
yeah,
sure. I mean, he's probably the only guy in the roster that every time he steps to the plate, I'm like, all right, this guy can get on one way or another. And he's a great guy to have on, obviously, one of the best runners there is.
yeah. I mean, he's still been doing his thing on the base pass for sure.
Yeah. Um,
So go ahead, Zach.
I was just going back to Cutter. One thing I kind of noted or like just thought about during the game the other day is he has a very unique arm slot. And I
Yeah,
wonder
it's like,
I wonder if that's kind of like deceptive to hitters and all because I can't think of many guys that kind of do the whole inside like shove kind of arm slot, but I mean, I'm sure that's not fun to look at from the
Yeah,
batter's
it's
ball.
like Lucas Giolito. Lucas
yeah,
Giolito and him have like the exact same like their four seam almost rises and like stuff like that. Like they throw from that arm slot. And like that could have been part of why he brought him in and maybe he helped out Cutter. Like I don't know. Looking at their releases and windups, it's very similar.
for sure. The only thing I really get worried about with the pitching staff is just their health. Like, obviously, Andrew Bailey comes in and he's done wonders for them, like pitching wise, but it's a completely different thing. Just like they're throwing so much more off speed, and like obviously, off speed puts less strain on the body or on your elbow and stuff. But like at the same time, you're still doing something completely different, and like that's how injuries happen. I wonder if there's anything to that, or at least with Pavetta, maybe. I mean, Whitlock just he's not a starter. Like at some point, we got to realize like he's not going to stay healthy enough to be a starter.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, what's today? Today's April 23rd.
Yeah.
If we're 13-10,
Yeah.
like this is probably a heck of a lot to ask for. But like if our pitching staff like stays healthy and keeps throwing well, like how can Crawford, Bello will do his thing, and then like our pen, like Slayton's been nasty. Weiser just like eat innings, get outs. Kenley and Chris Martin, like even though they're old, they still like keep getting outs. If all those guys like if the pitching staff stays good and like by the time it's like late June, getting into July, we're coming around to the break, we're still hovering like above 500. Like, and then all of our guys come back. Like Devers is finally healthy, Casas is back and drinking again. Then like that's something to be excited about. But like that's a long way out and a lot to ask for. I feel like so.
Yeah, I mean, if I had told you that this team was 13-10 after 23 games, you would be pumped. You
Yeah,
would feel like we had a chance at the World Series, and like it definitely doesn't feel that way right now. But like, I mean,
we also just haven't played against many World Series like competitive like teams that have their eyes on the World Series this year. Like besides the Orioles, in which we got swept.
No, that's what
yeah,
I was even if you look ahead, like we play a bunch of like decent teams, but like you don't see like the big payroll teams. Like you don't see the Yankees anywhere like relatively soon. You don't see the Dodgers. You don't see the Astros, even though they're horrible right now. I'm sure they'll get going. Um, but I mean that means that like in theory those teams are gonna start to stack up over the summer. So
Exactly. And that's when we need to be healthy and have our pitching staff be throwing well and still be above 500, which could be a lot to ask for. Like, we just need to not collapse, just hang in there, scrap out wins. Like, let's like scrap out a win tonight. Like, though tonight's a winnable baseball game. You're facing Ben live. Like, let's score some runs. How throw the ball like down the zone, get that slider working. Like, let's win baseball games.
yeah. I feel like there's like, yeah, there's like some good teams this year, but I feel like there's not that many like great teams in the MLB other than like the Braves. I don't see like a complete roster that like makes me scared. Like maybe the Dodgers, but like we have a better record than the Dodgers right now somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Braves are definitely off to the best start. They look really good, and like obviously the Dodgers will get going at some point. The Orioles and Yankees definitely both scare me in the division, especially with the Yankees getting Cole back soon. I mean, the Guardians are 16-6. They'll probably be in the playoffs, like scrapping around. They'll be looking to make a move at the deadline too. And then, like, yeah, the AL West, like the Rangers are the reigning World Series champions. So, like, I mean, there's definitely good teams out there. But like, I get what you're saying. Like, I could see we could go like the only team that I would say right now, if like we were healthy going into a playoff series, like best of 5 or best of 7, that we have absolutely no chance to beat would probably be the Braves and probably the Dodgers too,
Yeah.
and maybe even the Orioles. So yeah, maybe there's a lot of teams.
Yeah, but like those 3 teams, like yes, but like every other team, I feel like we got a pretty good shot. That's all.
The
I'm saying.
Phillies are hot right now too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
one thing about the Yankees that's been pissing me off is Garrett Cole's obviously one of the best to do it. He hasn't been healthy. Their other guys are throwing pretty darn well right now. They've got some great starts out of their guys. So, you know, hard to see them really going away this year, especially if they stay healthy.
yeah, no, I mean Juan Soto's been unbelievable for him. Like
Yeah, what are they like 15-7? And like Eric
something like
Judge
that.
hasn't done like anything.
Yeah, like
That's the scary
they've
part.
been playing good ball. Um, I'm ready to move on to series preview if you guys are.
Yeah.
Game 1, Reed already said it. We got Ben Lively versus Tanner Houck. Tanner Houck facing this team again for the second straight pitching appearance for him. Obviously, he went 9, so like they've seen him. Look for the over in this game. That's all I'm saying. I really hope Tanner shoves, but like this is a great hitting lineup. I mean, Josh Naylor's been raking. Jose Ramirez, one of the best hitters in baseball. Like they,
I think Steven Kwan's like 350 right now also.
yeah, and like
He's a
Andres
great leadoff
Jimenez,
hitter.
another great hitter too.
Yeah, I mean Ben Lively is really really bad though. Like he's triple A caliber, like he's a middle of the rotation guy in triple A. I don't really know like why he's up right now, but I mean the fact that we get to face him again, like say less, like let's get the bats going. He's not going to blow anybody away with his stuff. So maybe we score some runs tonight.
Yeah, maybe. And then on today's Tuesday, Wednesday, we got TBD
Yep,
versus
undecided. I was gonna say that before the series. There's definitely an undecided in there somewhere.
yeah. TBD. I mean, he's been pitching great for the Sox so far this year.
Do we
Yeah.
think that's gonna be another Bernardino 2 inning start, like bullpen kind of day, or
I mean, they did that 2 days ago. I don't really know
Yeah.
if they can afford to do that again.
I mean, yeah, undecided has a 0 ERA, 0 walks, right? He
yeah,
has 0 whip
he's,
too.
he's pretty
Yeah.
nasty. Yeah. But
Who's
like
going for them in that game?
versus Carlos Carrasco, who also
Oh,
kind of
he's
sucks.
also bad. He's
Yeah.
also bad.
So like
Yeah.
I think you could steal one. I think we see like a 40-man roster move tomorrow, and we grab someone from Worcester to start a game, and we'll see how that goes. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, if
I
the
like the
bats are
over in
going,
that one too,
yeah, if we score some runs and win 2 games, I'd be hip to that decision.
for sure. And then on Thursday, 1:10, we have an absolute beauty game. If you're not doing anything, tune into this one. We got Tristan McKenzie versus Brian Bale. That's gonna be a low scoring affair.
Yeah, I'll watch that one. McKenzie is definitely my guy. I have a few cool cards of him, but yeah, he look at his numbers right now, Tebow. Like an
They're not
absolutely astronomical amount of walks. Like he has walked more people than innings he's pitched. Like by like a good margin. He has like how many walks, Tebow? Read out his stats right now. Once you get it.
So Tristan McKenzie's 2-2 with a 5 ERA, 18 innings pitched,
Yes.
11
Yeah.
strikeouts, a 1.61 whip, which is nuts.
Yeah, that's not great.
His last 7 games, he has 15 walks.
Yeah. 15 walks and 18 innings pitched this year.
Yeah,
That's
that is
look
horrible.
to take a free bag against him because he might not find the zone.
Yeah, no, that's not good at all. And his strikeout numbers aren't impressive either. I mean,
Yeah, so realistically, I would say we have. I mean, maybe not on Wednesday. I mean, actually, I would give undecided the edge over Carlos Carrasco. Carlos Carrasco is washed. He's not very good at all. So, I mean, we definitely have the advantage on the bump all 3 games here. And like,
yeah.
we're just going to need to hit, and then maybe we can win a couple games, win a series.
Yeah, I mean, we're obviously been a good road team. Like, I really think we sweep. I really do. Maybe I'm being way too positive, but I think you got Tyler O'Neill coming back today. Hopefully, Rafi tomorrow was supposed to be today. Give him one extra day. I mean, he's obviously going to be hurt all season. It seems like at some point there's got to be an IL stint for him, but I think there's a good chance that we sweep.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, the Guardians are playing some good ball this year, though. Um, just one thing I wanted to touch on as I read through these stats. Bobby Dahlbeck's 1 for 30. That he if I had 30 at bats, he would only have one more hit than me.
Yeah,
Like
I couldn't believe it. I tuned into the Pirates game for like a little bit. I think it was game 2. He was like they had the audacity on Nesson to show his stat line at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
Bobby Dalbec 0 for 22, not like 11 Ks, and I was like, bro, there's just no way. And then he rips a double into the gap, Bobby Dalbec style, off of like some relatively bad Pirates AAA pitcher. So
I think the only guy in the league any worse than him is Jackson Holiday. That I mean, he's struggling real bad. I'm sure he's a good ball player. I'm sure he'll get it figured out, but scary hours for Baltimore considering he was like the face of your farm and supposed to be the next big thing.
yeah, I feel like if you keep talking like this, Tags, like there's going to be a series in the middle of the year, and he's going to hit 4 home runs against us. Like,
No, I mean, I literally like actively prayed on him to be bad because it's really bad for the Red Sox if he's good because that roster is already good. So I mean, so far so good.
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
this series coming up is like I'm with Tebow. I'm like I think that we can sweep, but if we were to get swept, would I be that surprised? Like, not really. So I mean, really anything can happen. Every game's going to be a pickup, probably. Like, especially the games where we have a pitching advantage. So we're gonna have to see what happens.
absolutely. My final thought for today is Roman Anthony, Marcelo Meyer, and Kyle Till have been absolutely raking in Portland.
Raking.
I think you keep them all together. Like I think
Yeah, I like that.
I
Yeah,
think you
I don't
just
mind
keep
that
them
at all.
together. They're hitting. I mean, obviously it's been a small sample size. They've only played like 15 games, but they're all hitting like over 300, close to 400. Some of them like absolutely crushing the ball. Like I think you move them up to Polar Park and just
All at once. I
all
like
at
that
once.
train of thinking. I like that train of thinking. Like somewhere in like September or somewhere in like August, September.
I think you do.
Maybe maybe July.
I think you do it now,
Okay,
honestly, or like
I'm
June.
hearing you.
Let them play the summer in Worcester, and if they continue to do well, I think if at least if you're out of it in September, screw it, why not?
Yeah, yeah. I don't
Like
hate that at all.
Roman Anthony's 19 and he's absolutely raking double-A pitching. Like he
Yeah.
seems like a special talent. So
Marcello's got to be only like what 21 also.
yeah, he's not crazy. Yeah, he's probably
Yeah.
21, maybe 22.
So yeah, I mean that was one thing I was gonna touch on earlier. I mean, whatever happens this season happens, but at least you seem to know you got 3 guys coming up. If it's not late this season, probably at some point next year, like that look like they can contribute. And like that tweet I sent you guys, I forget who it was from, but like Buster Posey, Nomar, and Mookie are just like waiting down in Portland, like ready to be called up. So
Yeah. You got anything, Rudy Bing?
No, I mean, good pod. Got a lot out. Good to not talk much about the Orioles series and yeah, I mean, like we were playing bad ball and I was pissed, but now we swept the series, so I'm back to talk about baseball. I only like baseball when the Red Sox are good. So, yeah, I mean, if we just like it's just like I said earlier, we just got to scrap together wins, stay right above 500, have all our guys be back when that schedule gets tough in June and July, and like play meaningful baseball down the stretch. That's all we want to see.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Alrighty. We'll see you guys Thursday or Friday.